Welcome back to Season 3, Episode 4 of Pilates with Marilyn. This is Planks Galore. All you're going to need is your mat and gravity. And if you have something for your wrists, like these wrist assured gloves, be sure to grab those too. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and come into a quadruped position. Hands are going to be on the floor, spreading the fingers out nice and wide. Now, if you don't have the wrist assured gloves, but you tend to dump into those wrists, go ahead and fold that mat back, and you can use that as a slight angle for your wrists. Okay. Spreading those hands out wide, feel that pressure into the carpal arch, push the shins into the ground, and just check in. Are you in good alignment? All right, long through the crown of your head, through the tail, we're just gonna breathe. We're gonna start by inhaling in. I want you to try and push the ground away as you inhale in. And exhale, draw your shoulder blades wide, collarbone wide, exhale out completely. Little sternum drops. Inhale and exhale. See if you can zip up from rib cage to pubic bone. If you're not sure what to do with your arms, be sure not to lock out through those elbows. There should be a slight cross in the bends of the elbows. So if you looked out about 2 feet in front of you, it would be where they would cross in the middle like an X. Make sure they're not totally rolled in or totally rolled open. We'll go ahead and go 2 more. And exhale, collarbone wide. Draw the shoulder blades down your back like you're wearing a Superman cape or a Superwoman cape. Exhale out all completely, pull in the rib cage. We're going into some shoulder taps. Take one arm, tap to the shoulder, and set it down. We're starting to lock in our powerhouse here. Deep lower obliques and glutes. The most common thing I see in planks is having a lack of control of the upper body. It's either sunk in or rounded up, trying to find the connection and control. So think about keeping those collarbones reaching from right side of the room to left side of the room. Now your hips may sway as we continue to tap, and I want you to see if you can engage the glutes, drawing the sits bones a little more narrow, and finding the deep lower obliques. Be purposeful with this movement. Make sure you're not rounding or hooking into that chest. Remember, it's a sandwich from front to back. All right, now let's go ahead and find that connection. And we're gonna do the same thing for the legs. We're just gonna shift and tap. So press the shins down, find the connection, control, slide one leg back, tap, draw it in. You may feel a great adjustment of your hips from right to left. The goal is to minimize this. So I like this slide variation versus pick up and tap because it allows for more of that subtle control. So by now, your arms should start to feel a bit fatigued. And we'll go ahead and go one more. Bring it on in, lock everything in. Walk your hands out just about 4 inches. Lock your entire body, and we're gonna tap the elbows down or towards the ground if they don't quite make it all the way down. Think about your deep double chin. Think about that wide collarbone, ribs in. And we'll go 3 more. Your upper body power is a big piece of your plank. We're gonna go ahead and go 2 more. Then we're gonna take a little break off our wrists. Last one. And let's go ahead and come around to a seated position. We're gonna be working our core in that straight back position here. Hands are gonna come behind the thighs or in front of the knees, shoulders slide back and down. And I want you to find a narrowed sits bone. See if you can narrow the sits bones without overly squeezing the glutes. And then we're gonna hinge back to about 45. And I want you to pause there and hold. See if you can start to lighten the touch on those knees. Maybe you bring them behind the thighs, a little light touch. Maybe you shoot them out in front. And if it's not a challenge for you, take it just a little bit deeper. Eyes gaze up without moving the head. Now, we're gonna hold this here. And if you feel like you need a little bit of support because you're taking it over in your hip flexors, remember we can always tuck a ball or a pillow behind the back, take off some of the pressure on the hip flexors, deepen that low core. And we're gonna go ahead and go one more good deep breath. And sit up nice and tall. Hands behind those knees. We're gonna roll back into this place between your sits bones and tailbone. Soften the touch on the floor, and we're gonna be floating up into a teaser balance. Teaser has the same connection of our core as plank, is our solid transverse abdominis, meaning that we're locked and lengthened. So I want you to think about lengthening crown of your head to the sits bones, and then exhale out completely till there's not an ounce of breath left. Now I'm hanging onto my legs just to allow my core to connect before the hip flexors. Now if you can let go, let go. If you want it harder, extend the levers. And we'll go ahead and go last good deep breath wherever it's right for you. And let's go ahead and come back up. All right, we're gonna spin back into that quadruped position. Hands on the mat, toes tucked under. Now let's go ahead and find that optimal collarbone wide, shoulders back and down, rib cage in, pressing into that carpal arch, the outside of those hands. I'm gonna curl my toes under, and we're gonna float. Inhale here, exhale, float those knees. Think about the length, crown of your head, collarbone wide. Find that core, find the glutes, find the power. Think about the ground pushing you away, not you holding yourself up against gravity. We'll hold it 3 and 2 and 1. Tap it on down. All right, we're gonna take it out to our full plank here. We're going planks to pikes. Now, if you need a break, you turn over, work on your core. Work on that strength. Press into the pinky side of the hand. Step one leg back. Find the line. The line, heel, hip, rib, crown of the head. Once you feel like you've got locked in, send the other leg back. Think about heels in one direction, crown of the head the other. Shoulders back and down, collarbone wide. Woo, I almost did my round up back trick. And let's go ahead and pike your hips up. I'm gonna walk my feet a little bit wider for a wider base of support today. I'm gonna reset those shoulders, wide collarbone, squeeze the glutes. Like a reverse bridge, I'm gonna lengthen it out. It's not about the amount of time that you spend in your plank. It's about perfecting what you do. We'll take 2 good deep breaths. Full and complete exhale. One more. And pike your hips up. Good, we're gonna do this one more time. Inhale here, shoulders draw back and down. Think about as if someone is gonna be pushing you down from the top and you wanna resist that. So engage the glutes, slowly lengthen. Wide collarbone, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Hold it as long as you can here. I'm just gonna hold it for 3 good deep breaths for me. Last one. Set one knee down, then the other. Let's take a wide knee child's pose. Come off those wrists, walk those hands forward. Good deep breaths. Allow that rib cage to expand. We'll go ahead and go one more good deep breath. We're gonna roll over. We're gonna do one more set. We're gonna strengthen those glutes in our bridge and come back to our plank. All of our muscle groups work together here. Shoulders shimmy back and down. Let's go ahead and really spread the toes out wide. Imprint those feet in and find the zip up Blowing out all that air, ribs to pubic bone. Inhale here, press actively into the floor. Both with the arms and the feet. Float those hips up. Pubic bone forward, lengthen, 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 lengthen. And slowly make your way down. I like a hinge when I'm focusing deeply on my glutes, articulation when I'm working on spinal mobility, or opening up the hips. Let's go ahead and go 2 more. Think about your glutes as the power here. They're floating your hips up like hot air balloons. Really reach that tailbone towards the back of the knees and hinge it back down. Maybe light tap at the bottom, hinge back up. Glutes are part of your main power in your plank. Plank is dynamic. It is front to back. Now pause halfway down. Hold it there. We're going to swipe our hips to the right, swipe our hips to the left. As you do, imagine you're dusting a table. You're not allowing your hips to lower at all. You're going to feel a deeper connection on one glute than the other. My sensation is my hips are on the same level. But I know in reality that's not always what occurs. So don't judge it, just allow it. Now come back to center. We're going to drop one hip, tap it down. Squeeze that glute, bring it up. Try to keep the knee up towards the ceiling like a pillar. And we'll go ahead and go a few more. Think glutes for my plank, glutes for my plank, glutes for my plank. I'm not bridging here. I'm warming up my glutes for my plank. If you think how hard the plank is, it'll keep you focused. All right, as we even out right to left, we'll go ahead and lower or articulate or hinge all the way down to the bottom. Let's spin over one more time. Let's finish out our last and final plank. Make your last plank your best plank. Shoulders back and down. Find the connection. Send one leg back, hit the line. I'm gonna go wide again. I'm gonna add in optional variations. You do you. If this is too intense, take it to a wall, take it to a table, take it to an inclined surface. And let's go ahead, send the other leg back. Find the connection, find the control. 3, good deep breaths, wide collarbone. Let's flex and point our toes. And we'll go 3 and 2, glutes for days, and 1. Let's bend the knees and extend the knees. Jackrabbit. This will be it. 3 and 2 and 1. Set one knee down, then the other. Find that wide knee child's pose. Walk your hands forward. Take a good deep breath. Walk your fingers away. Find that decompression. Walk your hands over to one side. As you feel that exhaustion hit in a 10-minute space, just know 10 minutes is worth it. Take it to the other side. 15 minutes is worth it. 30 minutes is worth it. Start small, work up to big. And as we conclude this session, just congratulate yourself. You spent time caring for yourself this week. It's the best time you'll spend all week. Thank you for practicing self-care this week. You are worth it. Join us at corporatehippiconnection.com for all of our lifestyle tips and tricks. See you next time.